Let's go now to Ethiopia, a country of ongoing reforms. Now, in the latest development, a former judge and well-known female opposition leader has been sworn in as head of the country's electoral board. Birtukan Mideksa becomes the latest woman to hold a senior position in a key public office. Mideksa returned to Ethiopia last month after spending 7 years in exile in the United States. She was she was among the opposition leaders who were jailed following the disputed 2005 elections. Hundreds were killed in the violence that followed. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed is undertaking institutional reforms that have seen a number of women take up senior posts in the Horn of Africa nation. Well, clearly Ethiopia continues to dismantle the old way of doing politics in the country. Let's get you some analysis on this from African affairs expert, Dr. Solomon Ayala Derso. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Derso. Let's talk about this latest development. Politically speaking, what kind of message is the Prime Minister sending by choosing someone from the opposition benches to lead the country's electoral body?
I think the reform that's underway here in Ethiopia is potentially a very transformative reform. And in choosing somebody who was in opposition politics and who also have experience in sitting as a judge in the High Court of the country, the Prime Minister clearly is sending a message that he is committed for having a free, independent and credible election come 2020, which is in a period of less than a year and a half. And therefore, it gives a great deal of confidence for the public that the much anticipated free and fair election is now going to be in very good hands, and therefore we are sure to see a free, credible and fair election come 2020. And the electoral process and indeed the body responsible for managing the election is in very good and capable hands.
Dr. Derso, of course, we've seen some radical changes since Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed came into power. And I may be wrong here, but certainly from the outside, we're not seeing a lot of clear dissenting voices. But it almost seems too good to be true that everyone is on board with all these changes.
Well, for a country that has gone through quite a traumatic period of instability and protest, a country of almost 100 million people with diverse socioeconomic, ethnic, as well as political conditions, I think it's difficult to not to have sectors of society who would have a dissenting view of the changes that are happening in the country. I think it's not whether or not there are dissenting voices and views that think or believe that the ongoing reform is not in their interest, or the ongoing reform is not the kind that is to their liking. I think that's significant. I think there is no way that this can be avoided. And there are indeed sectors of society who are not on board with the reform process.
Well, of course, it's hoped ultimately that Abiy Ahmed's reforms will restore investor confidence. They'll help build a healthy economy. But you mentioned the diversity of Ethiopia in terms of culture, tribes, etc. This has in the past presented some significant challenges. What is the one thing that can be done to resolve this ethnic tension?
I think there are a lot of things that need to happen in terms of addressing the ethnic tension in the country. First and foremost, it's extremely important that all sectors of society feel at ease and that their interests are secure, and that the system that is being built is a system that gives everybody and all sectors of society, from all sectors of social, economic, ethnic background, a good place, as equal members of the country, as equal members of society. I think that's extremely important. Beyond and above that, it's also very necessary and important that there is a national reconciliation and peace process for the country in order to address many of the misgivings, many of the concerns that various sectors of society have about the way the political and institutional system of the country have been governed over the years, and also how moving forward we would have a political, legal and economic system that is just, that is inclusive and that is fair, and that gives the deserved space and place for all sectors of society. So it is about really ensuring that there is inclusive citizenship that is multicultural, that is multilingual, and that respects all religious and linguistic diversity of the society and the country.
Thank you so much, Dr. Derso, for that analysis, joining us there from Addis Ababa.